You have not been forgotten by heaven. You've quietly wondered, smiled through doubts, and served faithfully, even while questioning if I still see you. The answer, spoken without hesitation, is this: I have never, not for a single moment, forgotten you. There have been seasons of silence that felt like punishment, times when you walked into crowded rooms yet felt unseen. You prayed with the last of your strength, kept showing up at work, at church, in life, carrying burdens no one else recognized. You celebrated others' breakthroughs while your own heart bled in the background. You've walked through years of quiet resistance, fighting thoughts that heaven had forgotten you. But today I lift that lie and speak truth to every forgotten place inside of you. You have not been overlooked, ignored, or delayed without purpose. Heaven has never been distant. I have been nearer than your heartbeat, present in every question, every disappointment, every long night where hope felt like a distant memory. If I allowed the silence, it was only because I was growing something in you that could not be rushed. Look deeper. You may feel tired, but you are wiser. You may feel behind, but your spirit is deeper, more aware, more alert. You have learned to hear me in the absence of noise, to follow my whisper when the crowd went another way. That kind of growth is not visible at first. It doesn't get praised or trend, but in heaven it is honored, and I honor it now. You have asked why others seem to rise while you remained hidden. You've tried not to be jealous, but the waiting has worn you down. I understand and do not rebuke your honesty. I invite it. You can bring your full heart to me, even the frustrated parts, especially those, because it's in those moments when you're at the edge, tired of hoping, hands feeling empty, that I pour the deepest measure of myself into you. You haven't seen the full picture yet, and that's by design. If I gave you everything at once, you would have moved ahead of me. This story I'm writing with your life is not just about results. It's about revelation, communion, and the version of you I'm forming, one who doesn't need validation to obey, who doesn't depend on outcomes to remain faithful, who knows that even when nothing is working, I am still working. What I've been doing in the background of your life is more holy than you realize. I have been removing the things you didn't know would ruin you. I've allowed relationships to shift, opportunities to delay, not as punishment, but as protection, because you asked me to make you strong, ready, and to use your life for something that mattered. I took you seriously. I took your prayers as permission to do a deeper work. That deeper work is not flashy or loud. It doesn't attract applause, but it produces substance. It creates a life that doesn't fall apart under pressure, a heart that doesn't depend on people's recognition to feel secure, a faith that can withstand the dry places and still believe for rain. That's who you're becoming. Not someone who performs for love, but someone who lives from it. Not someone who constantly questions their worth, but someone who knows they were chosen before they were ever visible. I know it's been long. The journey has been exhausting, but understand this clearly. Delayed does not mean denied. I have not said no to your calling, your future, or what you've prayed for. I've only been waiting until your spirit caught up with your purpose, because what I'm about to place in your hands cannot be sustained by performance. It must be held by someone who knows their identity in me. This is why I've hidden you, not because you weren't ready for exposure, but because exposure wasn't ready for you. I protect what carries weight, and I've been protecting you, not because you were weak, but because you are dangerous to the plans of darkness. You have authority that hasn't even been activated yet, insight that came from surviving silence, a voice shaped by prayer, not popularity. No, you have not been forgotten. You have been formed in silence, trusted with seasons that felt like exile, and kept under the weight of a process meant to prepare, not punish you. Everything's about to change, not because you forced it or finally figured it out, but because you stayed when walking away would have been easier. This moment is your reminder that heaven never moved on without you. Heaven has been building around you the entire time. While you were questioning your place, I was establishing your position. While you were wondering if you missed something, I was orchestrating everything. You are not late, lost, or invisible. You are remembered, still chosen, and not forgotten by heaven. I know how hard it has been to keep walking without answers, to carry the weight of faith when it felt like silence was your only companion. I saw you choosing to believe again, even after disappointment settled in your bones. Understand this clearly. I have never looked at you through the lens of your struggle. I've always seen your strength. Not the strength the world applauds, but the kind that rises in quiet rooms when no one is watching. The kind that wakes up tired but still chooses to show up. The kind that doesn't always feel brave but refuses to turn away from me, even when questions outweigh the answers. You have been harder on yourself than I have ever been. You've judged your progress through timelines and comparisons that I never placed on you. You've called yourself slow when I've called you steady, unqualified when I've called you chosen, assuming my silence meant disapproval when it was trust. I do not invest this kind of process in someone I intend to abandon. I do not pour this much weight into a life I do not plan to use. You keep wondering what I think of you, looking at your inconsistency and assuming it has changed how I see you. But let me tell you plainly, I am not disappointed in you. I am not frustrated with your process. I'm not surprised by your questions or ashamed of your weakness. I knew every fragile place in you before I called you, and I still said yes. You are not a burden to me. You are my beloved, and I take joy in you. Not because you always get it right, but because you keep choosing me, even when it costs you. Those moments carry more weight in heaven than you can imagine. I do not measure you by your performance. I measure you by your proximity, and you are closer than you think. You've asked me what I want from you, hoping for one clear answer, one thing to fix, one thing to do that will unlock the next step. But this is what I want. I want you, not a more polished version of you, not a louder, braver, more impressive version of you, just you as you are. I want your heart returned to rest, your mind freed from the pressure to be everything at once. I want you to stop chasing what I've already placed within you. My call on your life is not about perfection. It's about presence. You don't need to do more to be seen, be louder to be heard, or work harder to be wanted. I chose you before you had the chance to prove anything. I'm not asking for your strength. I'm asking for your surrender. Let go of the idea that your value depends on your results. That is not how I love. That is not how I lead. I don't need your strategy. I need your stillness. I don't need your urgency. I need your trust. You've wondered if you've missed your moment, if maybe you were too distracted, too delayed, too damaged to step into what I promised. But let me say this with absolute clarity. I do not miss time. I do not run late, and I do not forget my plans. You are not behind. You are not outside of my will. Even your delays are part of my design.